Hey geeks and gamers, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to create amazing time-lapse videos with FFmpeg directly on the Raspberry Pi. Roll the intro. In the video Raspberry Pi plus webcam equals fun, we had created a little script that captures a webcam image at certain intervals. And today we're going to create a small animation from that, an AVI file, a video file, directly on the Raspberry Pi from those images captured. Check out that video. You'll find the link somewhere here or in the description to that old video. And now let's dive straight into FFmpeg on our Raspberry Pi or any other Linux distribution. Okay, in order to use FFmpeg, we have to install it. Execute sudo apt install FFmpeg and confirm that you want to continue. The installation will take a moment, so let's speed up the video. Okay, it is time to run FFmpeg in the folder containing all the images you want to get processed into a single video file. If you followed along the Raspberry Pi webcam video, you just have to change into the webcam pics folder in your Pi user home directory. And now, let's take a look at that beautiful command. Let me explain it step by step. Alright, let's take a look at the left side of the pipe symbol in front of the FFmpeg command. Here, heavily enlarged so you can clearly read it. Oh, by the way, this is by no means a course in Bash or shell programming. You could, of course, skip this part and just copy-paste the command line, or you can at least try to follow along, okay? The contents of the brackets will be used as input for the cat command. ls just lists all files in the directory, but we have to make sure that we get them in the right order, so we pipe them through sort -V. This sorts them by numbers in the name, which worked great here, because our file names followed the naming scheme of year, -month, -day, -hour, etc. You get the point, so something like 2022-4, -13, etc. Yeah, some clever person will now point out that you could use ls-t or tr for sorting the file list by the last modified date. But what if I move the files or rsync them away without an archive flag or whatever? There are many ways to lose that timestamp. But the file name is stable, so to say, and will remain the same, so we sort by that. Our sorted file list will be passed to the cat command, which will output each of the files. Of course, in this case, the output from the cat does not go visibly to the terminal window, but is passed to FFmpeg as input to encode. Now for the FFmpeg command part. Let's start with the super easy stuff in the middle to get it out of the way. -v codec tells FFmpeg which codec to use for the video, and in our case we want a good old simple H.264 encoded video file. The PIX FMT stuff is there for compatibility reasons. So, quote from the FFmpeg website, crappy players can decode the video. Funny enough, the Windows Media Player has issues playing back the file when it was encoded without the parameter. Did FFmpeg just call it a crappy player? Perhaps. Let's continue. Okay, I color-coded the following stuff for the ease of understanding. We want to provide FFmpeg with 2 frame rates, which can be a bit confusing in the beginning. The blue -framerate 10 parameter tells the encoder to have 10 FPS as the input frame rate. The green -R20 is the output or target frame rate for our final video. So, in our example, 10 frames from the input will be stretched over a period of 20 frames in the output video. In this case, basically each webcam image will be plainly doubled or played back twice, so the target of 20 FPS is met. The target frame rate is mainly important if you want to mix the output video with other footage you have, so If you have like other 30 FPS video files and want to add the time-lapse video, you might want to use 30 as your target frame rate. You can also use the input frame rate to display each single image for longer than 1 FPS. If you want to display each single image for, let's say, 5 seconds, simply set the input frame rate to 1/5, or as it has to be a parameter, it's 1/5. The last important thing to mention is the name of the output video file. In our case, that is outputvideo.avi. And that's it. Let's run it. And be prepared to wait for a long time, depending on the number of images that FFmpeg has to process. And by the magic of filmmaking, let me speed up that video. One moment. It's of course up to you to play around with the parameters like input FPS and output FPS and just tinker around with it and have some fun. And that's it for today. More Raspberry Pi videos upcoming, so don't forget to like, subscribe, follow and hit that bell. See you in the next one. Alpha over and out.